This is Dr. Rao coming into you on our 40 days program. Today is day 4. This is like a something I do in the morning and in the night. I'm sharing with my friends how to calm our minds. So I hope you are all doing good. And my friend Ivy is here. Ivy, come up. So there are people on the wisdom. That's good. Chris is there. Okay. I, yeah, therefore, I never did something like this, but I thought this is meaningful enough. Uh, I was watching the evening news, and there was this story about banning social media in the Utah. Not complete ban, but the children, they have to take parental permission. Um, and they were mentioning about Jonathan Haidt, whom I know because he wrote this happiness index paper, and then recently he published an article in the Atlantic, I think. He was saying that there was a study from 2010 or somewhere to 2017 about teenagers. Many of the teenage girls were committing suicide, I believe. So he was very instrumental behind the scenes in the Utah decision, and which was, I thought, very appropriate. And what do you think about that, Ivy?
It has been a phenomenon for the past 20 years.
Yeah.
Teenagers suicidal.
Yeah.
It's a phenomenon in the Chinese community as well because it's a knowing thing. Culturally, Chinese kids are forced to really study.
Yeah. But this
extra curriculum and all that, a lot of family expectations of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of them resulting into anxiety, social anxiety.
That's it.
When they're transitioning into adulthood.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Because they don't have the social skill to
I knew Jonathan Haidt.
Social life. So
Jonathan Haidt, Ivy, he was making an argument that this coincides with the smartphone and when it really took off in 2010 or something, and that coincides with this number of girls committing suicide. So we knew about this, and even though I use the social media, I also talk about the harm it can do, and then why, and then what we can do about it. So our room really fits into that because I want people to be able to have this simple technique where they can calm their mind in the morning and in the evening, especially if you do it after waking up and also before going to sleep. You will have better control of your neurological status. As it is, modern people, we are frontal lobe syndrome people, right? We think a lot, and then this has become
the left hemisphere.
But we call it frontal lobe more like. So I think I'm serious.
Frontal lobe is reactive.
Very.
Frontal lobe is a very reactive brain.
Exactly.
And McGilchrist's book, The Matter with Things, he's talking about the left hemisphere are more delusional.
Anyway,
more fantasy, more incoherent compared to the right hemisphere.
Exactly.
I think social media is quite toxic for teenager because bullying is going on, on social media quite often time.
So much
especially with the smartphone as well.
Yeah.
And then they're isolated as well. I think it's good to teach teenager how to manage the anxiety. And how to manage the stress level and overthinking. I think one of the major problems teenagers have is overthinking, overly into a state of putting themselves down.
Exactly. That's the problem with the overthinking. We are allowing our minds to be activated more than what they should be. So what I am saying is we don't have to be thinking all the time. we can really be available and then be aware of what is happening, and that way we can always be kind of relaxed while you are doing work, and then not allowing our mind to continuously working for it. Okay. um, Flying, welcome.
Thank you,
Okay.
Dr. Rao and Ivy. Hello.
Yeah. So so let me describe this room for the people who are not aware of it. The last 4 days, what we are doing is I was coming in introducing the exercise, which is exercise in awareness. That means you don't go into your thoughts too much, but rather you station yourself in the present moment. Hopefully, you can do that in the morning, and this is associated with the deep breathing and then just relaxing, and then going into the day, taking it as a perfume for the entire day, flavor entire the day, so that you are in the present and working with whatever you are doing and you are enjoying too. And then at the end of the day also you do this. That way you get back the present moment awareness back into your fold. And as you do it day after day, after a few days, you will see that you have really stationing yourself in the awareness rather than the thoughts. You use the thought as an instrument to do your stuff, but you don't want to have this unconscious thought or compulsive thought. That's the aim. Okay. Let me describe that's how it is done. This is a part of my routine in my wellness club.
Before you start,
Yeah.
Dr. Rao,
Yeah.
should have a question to say. How do you stop overthinking? I overthink so much that it is
Yeah.
hard to make
That's what
decisions.
that's what I'm going to explain, because I'm not going to exercise right away, but I'm going to explain and then we'll go into that. Okay, Avi? So what it is when you get up from the sleep in the morning, if you are groggy and if you are really late night and you have slept on watching a lot of data on the phone, your mind will be continuously going on. Okay. So when you get up in the morning, if you somehow can calm it down and then also really establish yourself what is happening around you in the presence, that's a very healthy sign. See, one measure is when you get up, see the time when this rush of thoughts come, that could be delayed a little bit. Usually we get up and immediately we get into that kind of thing, or we open the phone or email, whatever we do that, right? Then we'll activate it with our regular thinking, and it runs pretty fast. And then you are never having a chance to really slow it down. So in the morning, when you get up, first thing is just be aware of your surroundings, your live things around you, your spouse, your kids, your plants, your pets, all those things are there. Give them a moment and come back to the present moment. Okay. And then, well, you can also go out with your eyes, go and see at the window what's happening outside in the nature, and also try to see whether you can appreciate the weather or the sun or the snow or what, rain, whatever, right? So idea is to be establish ourselves in what is happening here and now, and then you can do this exercise by sitting in the chair or on the floor, whichever is convenient for you. The requirements are um, go to the same place as much as possible every day at the same time, and the same time is better, but if you cannot do it, that's okay too. But then once you are assuming a posture where you are sitting down and your spine is erect, you're sitting straight, right? And the neck is straight too. And then you can close your eyes and then take these deep breaths. There's a method to that too. You can take a deep inhalation. When the air goes in, your abdominal wall comes out, and you hold it for 4 count, and then you deep out, breath out when the abdominal wall goes in. Okay, that is the thing that you want to observe. You can start with just observing your breath and then do this deep exercise. So like 8 times, I will do it with you. You can do it with me too. And then there are 3 stages I take to. First, casual breathing, and then being aware of the sensation of the air at the tip of the nose, and then aware of our thoughts that are coming and paying attention and going them, be the witness. And finally, you can say this, so it's up to you, but I usually do. I'm not just this body and mind, but I'm exhaling the air. And then I would say, I am this awareness behind that when you're taking the deep breath. That's a traditional thing that we do in yoga practice too, so that we are really the awareness behind the thought and we establish ourselves, and the awareness is always in the moment. Okay, that's what we will do. Like I said, do it in the morning, first thing when you get up, and also try to do that 1 minute every hour through the day so that you come back to your presence, not getting lost in the thought. And then finally, at the end of the day, before you go to sleep, you can do that too. So let's do this exercise simply. Ivy, are you ready? Yeah, let's do a very brief exercise, but it's very simple. Sit with your back straight. That's the main thing. And keep both your feet firmly on the floor, your toes, the sole, and the heel all clutching the ground. And then keep your neck straight, keep your eyes closed, and also mouth closed. And now try to take a deep breath through both nares up to a count of 7. As you take a deep breath, make sure your abdominal wall coming out, and hold it at the height of the inhalation for a count of 4. Hold the air. Now start to exhale out. Abdominal wall is going in towards the spine, and you are breathing out for a count of 8. Let's do 4 more times this way.
Beautiful exercise, Doctor.
So we are done with the first part of the exercise, and we'll talk later flying. Okay, just do the exercise with me. Okay, there's not much time, but just do it. Okay, next set of 5, you want to be aware of the sensation of touch of the air at the ali nasi, the tip of the nose. Okay, that way you will bring your mind tied to the breath. Okay, let's do this time. Slow in for a count of 7, and hold it for 4 count, and breathe out 8 count. Okay. Okay, that's the second part. Now the third part, we're going to observe the thoughts like the witness, like the watcher. Be the watcher. Don't indulge in the thought as they come in, if they come, or don't resist them. Don't fight them. Just let them come up, watch them, and then they take their own career, and then they go away. Don't indulge in them. Be that awareness behind the thought. Okay, that's the final part of this exercise. Again, take deep breaths. As you do the deep breaths, be the watcher of your thoughts, whatever comes up in your mind. Okay. Actually, I cut short the exercise. Usually we do 15 minutes, but some people may not be used to that. That's why I just put it shortly. But the principles are the same. Basically, you kind of watch yourself inside, you kind of take deep breaths, and that way your sympathetic overload will go down and you will be activating your parasympathetic nervous system. So you're less reactive when you go to your work and doing that. Okay, so this is a very strongly recommended exercise, and also you can take a present moment breathing break. I call it every hour for 1 minute at work, or so often every 2 hours or 3 hours. Okay, the principle is slowing it down, not getting rushed by things or by the thoughts that we get, but to being in the present and paying attention to whatever we do. There are so many other principles involved, but basically, when my doctors and nurses who are burned out really comes, I give them this exercise in the morning along with yoga, and also really focusing on their thoughts and understanding them, how they are coming, why they are coming, and all that too. Uh, if you make an active effort to be in the present in the morning and try to carry that like a perfume through the day and end of the day reflecting and then making your mind come back to the present and sleep on it, you are well served. All this escalation of this information overload and so much erudition, so much data is not going to take over our mind. That's the essence of it. That's why I'm doing this slowly. Yeah.
So, Dr. Rao, would you say the breathing technique is to stop the brain from thinking, right?
Yeah, it slows it down.
It's like a practice that.
Yeah. It's,
yeah. To stop the breathing, it literally will stop your brain from thinking.
Yeah, it's so not the stopping, Ivy. It's more like a deep breathing. Slow, deep breathing. That's good enough. Actually, it helps your energy too, because you are breathing more oxygenated air going into the blood. And because I explained the other day, as the diaphragms go down, you have more potential alveolar space opening up. So there is more surface area of the gaseous exchange, and that's why you have more oxygen in your blood. That will translate into better energy. Okay, so slow deep breathing, not really stopping it, but stopping in the middle, that's called kumbhaka. That is really gives you much more energy. But in the beginning, people may just do the deep slow breathing and then maintain that, and then as they do that, keep the attention on the nose and the breathing. That way, even if your mind travels into some thoughts, you bring it back to the center. That once you are used to that, and once you are able to breathe for a long time and then able to watch your mind, then we can go to the advanced stages where a lot more things are happening. It's like a must.
I have a question.
Yeah. Yeah, flying.
Thoughts, when someone is thinking, thoughts, they come to your mind, repetitive thoughts.
Yeah.
How do you deal with this?
Yeah, there is a mechanism of how the career of the thought, right? How the thought comes up, how the thought is spent, and then how the thought repeats itself. How there's a mechanism. What it is when you thinking actively, you are trying to do something, you are paying complete attention to it, it will have its career and it will go away. But if you are unconscious about this thinking, let those thinking happen again and again, that becomes a neuronal path in your cortex. And these are called engrams or samskaras in Sanskrit. Okay. And these are the ones that come up while you are reflecting like this, while you're slowing down like this, then you can really watch the thought, be the watcher, not the indulger, not the resistor, but watcher. Then you watch the thought is an object to you, and that way it's easy to handle. Then what happens is, as you're doing some stuff, you are not thinking everything around it. You just do that stuff and you're focused, more and more focused. Usually people are focused when they are in a crisis. But this habit of paying attention to everything really helps you to be in the flow and not generate extraneous thoughts. So in the long run, you don't have this habit of same thoughts going around and forming their own path and they're coming up. That happens with the old people because they never tried to understand this and thinking all the time, even at working and all that. And nowadays, all this data and all the stimuli, all the distractions are making us think too much. And that's where people are really not able to control their own thoughts, not able to understand. They allow the thought to go on continuously. They start in the morning, go to the work, and then continue in the night and also through the night, late night, and then they go down and sleep. That's why a lot of people complain to me that they have headache from the brain fog at the end of the day, or they are not able to sleep. So actively, consciously thinking is something that we can cultivate, and then we can arrest all the unnecessary thoughts, involving in discussions, arguments, and all of that doesn't allow you to have this control of the thought. But reflecting, understanding what's going on within you, what is the conditioning that you had. Suppose you are conditioned by your parents, by your culture, by society. All those things will come up when you are really sitting down for meditation. Once you deal with it and done with it, then you will learn to how to be in the present. Then you won't form all these repetitive thoughts that go and form their own neuronal path. So neuroplasticity involved in this, and yoga science is involved in this. But for me, I am able to enjoy that being in the present and doing whatever I want to do, and also reflect on it very easily. So down the line, you become present moment awareness all the time. And then the joy of doing things, the joy of talking to people, the joy of having a relationship, that all comes in. So you are hooked on that. And then you try to be, not even try to be, you are in the present all the time. You don't have these other thoughts coming up. It's kind of emptying the bucket that we have accumulated all the water. You empty it, and then that way slowly they will change. But then if you don't understand the principle, if you don't even have the time to do that in the morning and the evening, and be in the awareness in the present moment when you are working, you are inviting to form more of those recurrent thoughts and more of engrams, more of samskaras, we call it. Okay?
Dr. Rao, would you say that the practice would actually retrain the brain, right? Because the brain have a lot of plasticity.
Yeah, exactly.
And because of our own conditioning.
Yeah.
And we have this habit of repetitions of mechanistically thinking without even trying, right?
Exactly. So rewiring the mind.
The
that is
technique is to help slow the thinking, the thought.
Exactly.
The noise in the brain.
Yeah, it's kind of rewiring the thinking. But then later on, the essential purpose of Eastern practices are to calm all the thought when it's not needed and make it a object that I can use when I want. Otherwise, I can enjoy the silence. That's a big attract. But then, if you want to be positive, if you want to develop some skills and all that, you want to be focusing on that, right? And then they become you like a driving, for example. In the beginning, we have so many tasks we have to do, and we have to pay attention to each task. Brake, where is the accelerator, and all that. But later on, it becomes your subjective knowledge that becomes subconsciously all written down there. So you don't have to pay attention to everything you normally do. But then what we do when we're driving the car, we have this subconscious impulses take over. But then we vagabond with our thought, think about what's going to happen at work or what has happened yesterday, like that, Instead of that, trying to be in the present moment. Yeah, flying.
Do you believe in the devil?
Oh, that's not a discussion. No, that's not the discussion. We're going to have it here. We're just this exercise. Calm your mind is the only thing. Don't take us to all sorts of agitated states.
No, this is to do with thoughts, because repetitive thoughts, some of them are, spiritual, like this,
Yeah. But this is not a spiritual discussion. This is like a technique for the modern man who is dealing with a lot of information overload, brain fog, and burnout and all that. So we are trying to deal with a very simple thing. I not preach anything, we're just sharing a technique so that we can have a better day. Okay?
I hear you. Yeah. But look, I got this repetitive thought,
Yeah.
The repetitive thought I have is to do with sexual nature.
Yeah. Anything, if you think of continuously, unconsciously, compulsively, they will form their own neural path and then they will be coming true. That's why
some of these thoughts are biological. It's in the nature of the man to think about the woman.
Yeah. But then you want to replace them with the positivity, with your purpose of life, with your whatever you have in your mind, they will come through. Okay? Nisha is here.
I think that flying, I think that is a conditional mind. You have that is being conditioned.
Yeah.
The way it's been conditioned is through desire, through pleasure, because you have pleasure of that. That is become your desire. So it conditions you. You'll have this repetitive thought through your own conditioning. So you need to uncondition yourself.
Yeah, that is Ivy. That's the exact word. Conditioned mind will think like that. Then once we are starting to meditate, sit down, these things will come up. There's a beautiful description. Suppose you put the milk on the stove, and as you put the heat of the meditation, all these thoughts come up like the milk comes up. Then you have to pour some water on to get it down. Like that, if you start to meditate, all these things will be coming up. So what I said, don't yield to them, don't resist them, don't indulge them. Just watch them like a watcher. The practice is to come back to the center. The practice is to be the watcher, the witness. Hi, Nisha. Nice to see you after a long time.
Yes. Hello, Dr. Rao. Lovely meeting you. Lovely, seeing you again. And I love this topic, calm your mind.
Yeah.
The need of the hour.
Yeah, this is like an exercise, Nisha, that I'm trying to share with my friends, which I do every day in the morning and in the evening and during the day also, right? So how can we be in the presence? How can we establish ourselves in the awareness and then use the thought as a faculty, as an instrument, instead of allowing it to dominate us or to really take us away from the present moment. That's why I want to do it for 40 days. This is the 4th day we are doing, but other things will come up. So usually I come up and talk 10 minutes, 10 minutes exercise. Then the room is open for people to ask me all these questions, So, were you there when we were doing the exercise?
No, I was not, Dr. Rao. I just joined.
Okay. Let me describe that for you because we are done with actually physically we did it. But all we did was just sit down and put our feet on the ground and then just close your eyes and take the deep breaths like inhalation, holding, and exhalation. And while you are doing it, we kind of tie our mind to the breath and then observe the thought as a witness or watcher. And then at the end of it, we'll say, we are not just this body and mind, but we are that awareness behind the thought. And that is just given. It may take some time for people to get to that point, but some people are advanced meditators, right? They come to that. Okay, there is actually there's a mudra that they call about in India. It's called Shambhavi mudra. In that, they do all these steps a little bit, and it's a very powerful thing to do in the morning and not allowing our thought to take over us and establish ourselves in the presence and carry that presence through the day like perfume. And at the end of the day, come back again to the present moment and reflect on the things that happened during the day. And the whole thing is not allowing the mind to run away whatever it wants, just to be here and now. And that becomes a habit after a while. So whatever, like I was saying, whatever we're conditioned, we kind of trying to decondition painlessly, patiently over a long period. That's why these 40 days are kept there. So if ideally, if people come on time, then they can listen to the introduction and do the exercise and then ask me questions about whatever the experience showed them, either good or bad things. And then we can, if they have questions, I wanted to answer. See, that's how I wanted to make myself available for this 1 hour. Okay. So if you come tomorrow, Nisha, tomorrow you can do the exercise also with us.
Sure. What time does it start, Dr. Rao?
7.
I'm in, sorry?
7 Central.
Okay.
Half an hour ago we started.
The room started 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, 30 minutes ago.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. But I can show other things too. Okay, Ivy, do you know alternate nostril breathing?
The nose breathing?
No, nose breathing. Alternate nostril breathing.
No.
Okay, this is something, you see, physiologically, one nostril is dominantly open compared to the other one. Other one is also open, but not that much. Okay, you can feel that when you do this alternate nostril breathing, and you can open both nostrils easily. That's why this is a very preferred exercise. So again, we are going to do it. Please do it with me, and then you will have. You will see the both nostrils open. Okay. Second, sit straight.
Exercise, doctor?
Yeah, this is another exercise. Just um, sit with both your feet firmly clutching the ground, the toes, the soles, the heel, all are firmly placed on the ground. Sit straight, back should be straight, neck should be straight. Then close your eyes, but you prepare your right hand to use thumb and also the ring finger. So both the index finger, middle finger, bend them so that they touch the base of the thumb. Now take the hand and use the thumb to close the right nostril. Close it first and take deep breath through the open left nostril. At the height of the inhalation, use the ring finger to close the left nostril while releasing the thumb from the right. And now right nostril is open. Breathe the air out. And again, start to breathe in through the right nostril, which is open now. Close the right nostril with the thumb and release the ring finger from the left nostril through the open left nostril. Breathe out. That is one cycle. We will do 4 more like that. Start breathing through the left nostril. Close it with the ring finger, open the right nostril and breathe out. Now breathe in through the right nostril, close it with the thumb, release the ring finger from the left nostril and breathe out. Third one. Fourth one. Fifth one, the last one. You see, same principles. Bringing the abdominal out while you're taking deep breath in, and abdominal going in towards the spine while you're breathing out. Okay, and also keeping the attention on the nose and the air coming in and out, and thereby you are tying the mind to the breath, right? And it's a very simple thing, but this exercise is kind of a little bit advanced for people to do. But if you do that, you will find you are very relaxed after that. Usually we do up to 8 or 16 like that, but then I just, for the sake of time and here to get used to it, I'm starting very slow. Okay. So how was it, Nisha? You may be knowing this already.
Yes, Anulom Vilom,
right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But I want to present the physiological point of view too, because normally one nostril is dominantly open, other one is not. You can feel that,
Yes.
That is opened this way, and that's why we actually do what's called bellows breathing, which is Bastrika, and after that you do this, and then you do other things too. I do like 10 exercises, 10 breathing exercises, but I don't want to burden everybody. So first exercise is a simple thing that we can do. One of the things
this is a very powerful exercise, Dr. Rao. It also regulates the heat and the coolness of the body.
Yeah, not only the weight also. Weight also, Nisha. If you want obese, you want to lose weight, you have to have right nostril dominant breathing. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Tell me. You're saying something about the heat, Nisha.
No. So, no, I was just saying that. So I do this every morning. Like I do a whole series of all these breathing, the pranayam every morning.
Yeah.
And even otherwise, like whenever one is tired or stressed, just breathing from both the nostrils, alternative breathing really helps bring the balance back into the center. I find it very, very helpful.
That's exactly what I'm saying. She's so correct, because whenever you're tired or agitated or really activated, just take a 1 moment break, and then suppose I'm in a meeting, heated discussions going on, but I will take that advantage just to sit back and breathe in deeply, and that kind of slows me down, not to blurt it out, and also really gives me the energy and the different perspective too. Yeah, that's why I say trying to be in the present, and then try to carry that presence through the day. How do you get back to the present? Is suppose you are having activated thought, you get back to the present just by taking 1 minute deep breathing, and then you come back to the presence. See, active thought, running thought will be corrected and cut down and then slowed down, because the breathing and the thought has this inverse relationship. If you are having too many thoughts going on, you're anxious, we tell them take deep breaths, right? And there's a very simple thing that is true all the time, So whenever you're tired, for example, you can take breaths. For example, in the morning, you get up, you're groggy, just do the deep breathing I showed you 8 to 12 times, and then see how your energy transforms. The longer you are doing it regularly, the better the breathing becomes and the slower the thought becomes. So you have more hold on that. So you're not going to be reactive to somebody just like that. That is also because the parasympathetic nervous system is activated with the deep breathing. That's exactly opposite of the sympathetic overload that the modern life builds on. See, the moment you see somebody, so many opinions come, so many experiences come, and then we can aggravate ourselves too. Like that, it happens, right? But we kind of want to be diplomatic, we don't want to hide and all. But with this, you are just true to whatever it is. You're not going to blurt out because there's so much philosophy there behind. We are all in one family, we are in one energy, so you don't want to get aggravated unnecessarily, all those things. This will really prevent the road rage reaction like in the regular office.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
Road rage.
That's what it is, you know. Yeah.
It's the same technique
Yeah.
that people have panic attack, the breathing through the paper bag to slow
Yeah.
down the breathing.
Yeah, that is the hyperventilation. Hyper.
Stop your brain
Yeah.
neuronal to react.
Yeah.
Send signal. It's slowing your brain down.
Yeah.
When it slows down, you're practicing basically to tell your brain to retrain your brain
Yeah.
not to overthink.
No, there's a physiology there, Ivy. What happens is when you're rapidly breathing out like that, you kind of breathe out more carbon dioxide, right? Breathe out. That's why it becomes hyperventilation syndrome,
Yeah.
where hypocarbia, we call it. Carbia means carbon dioxide, right? Hypocarbia. Actually, that's a physiological thing, and that kind of aggravates your thinking to go faster and faster and faster. So a lot of patients, when they come in anxiety mode, and really, it is a building on itself. It gets worse. That's why we give them a brown bag so that they can rebreathe whatever carbon dioxide they're breathing out, right? So that's a physiology that way works. So you breathe out carbon dioxide into the brown bag, and then you breathe in too. That's why your carbon dioxide will not go down. Your hypocarbia will become normal, and that's where you become really calm and quiet. We actually give the brown bag right away to the patient, and then later on we'll take it to the into the and there are certain patients we know they are anxious like that, but other people can be other problems too, that is there. But this is something we know, that these people are anxiety prone, and when they come to the clinic we give them a brown bag and they breathe into it, and they kind of replenish their own expelled carbon dioxide. That's the mechanism it happens. And also the deep breathing, as we are talking about, it cuts down the rapidity of thought. So this is actually a very important principle for modern times when I'm dealing with this burnout health workers or IT professionals. What is happening is, in the morning, when you get up, you can check it for yourself. When you get up in the morning, immediately you try to remember what's going to come up in the day or what has happened yesterday, something like that. Don't do that.
I don't think you have to. It's like the
Yeah.
computer switched on.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
swimming into and it just surfaces.
Yeah.
You
But
don't have to think. They just come.
yeah, but a lot of people don't have the control, and even before even they realize it, they are in the what I call it stream of thought. Okay, and that forms its own network continuously. Okay, this is about information overload, the consequence I'm talking about. Suppose you are working late in the night with a lot of data, a lot of things like the social media, or working on your own projects and whatever. In the morning when you get up, you will get all that right away. Instead of that, take deep breaths and be in the present. The longer you can delay the activation of the stream of thought, the healthier you will be. So it's a very simple thing, but then modern conditioning is going so fast, so much, especially the children who are doing it very harm to them. That's why I started. Yeah, that's why I started about. Yeah. Yeah, playing.
Some people, they like pressure. Me, I like to be under pressure.
Yeah.
When life is very easy going, I find it very boring.
Yeah, I did not say that you have to sleep on it. You got to be attentive flying. That means whatever you are doing, you are bringing all your attention to it. That means you don't have to be pressure induced flow like, but then you can be in flow and relax. You know what happens? You are much healthier that way. You won't secrete this sympathetic nervous system that much. So suppose you have a little hurriedness, a little more focus and little more attention, and you're doing much better. That's good, but then don't say I can create stress that is good for me. Actually, it is shown small amount of stress like that created continuously takes its own toll on the body physiologically. For example, the bees, they bring in small honey, right? Every time they bring small honey, and finally the nest becomes so heavy with the honey, it pours down. The stress of the modern life is like that too. What I am saying is, instead of that, be attentive. Use your thought and feelings and everything positively towards the things that you are doing. And that's why the people who are self-realized, that means they are beyond the thought what they are, and they establish in that, they are the healthiest people. My dictum now is live long, live well, live joyfully. That's what I say now. Live long with the modern things, we can do that. But living well and living joyfully, I borrowed it from the ancient wisdom. They had a profound view of our inner nature than the modern people have. We just think only thinking is good all the time. But we are seeing the consequences of overthinking or information overload in the form of burnouts mainly. So
Do you know the concept of fight and flight?
yeah, that is the one. Fight and flight is the one which produces the sympathetic nervous system activation. Fight and flight was there for a purpose. When you are in a danger, it's supposed to act for you. But now we make up dangers of even the small things too, which I think there's no need for it.
But what happens if the human becomes too comfortable when he doesn't know how to fight?
Well, that is
But
different.
what are you fighting, flying? That's the question that needs to be answered. So the other question is that are we fighting just because we are so habituated to fighting? What is the need to fight? I think we thrive only when we are in a very calm state, and then we can move to the next stage of our evolution. Because fight and flight is a very animalistic response to our environment.
Yeah, that's it. Is it? You don't want to yield to the animalistic. Yeah. There is an article I wrote recently, Ivy, about argument versus exploring truth in a atmosphere of where we are all equal, and we are, basically we are all in one energy. See, what ancient wisdom taught me was this samatha. That means samatvam, evenness, and ekatvam. That means oneness. Once you feel the oneness and other person is you, what is the point of attacking them and generating all this fight or fight syndrome when it is not needed? And this all these arguments I see in the clubhouse, people, some rooms, they fight with each other. You're supposed to gather together to really find out the truth of the matters and find some commonalities, solutions for our daily living problems. Here, I'm not even talking about that far. All I'm saying is this kind of exercise will help you with that fight or flight syndrome when it is not really needed. Reaction. Why do people react? Because they have this fight or flight syndrome operating in them unconsciously. So this is the technique that I'm trying to share, which works for me, is to be non-reactive, calm, peaceful, and also really helping people to be peaceful themselves. For example, myself, flying, hold on, flying, hold on. Okay, I'm going to move you to the audience because you're interrupting all the time. You're not allowing us to speak.
Question,
No, no, you can stop. Still, I'm done with my answer. Then you can ask. Okay, just let me finish.
Dr. Rao,
Yeah.
no, let Dr. Rao let him explain, and then you can ask a question, fine.
Yeah, let me finish. What I was bringing here is this fright or fight syndrome is more like a reptile brain kind of danger, imagining something that is happened to bring it in all that, but not in the present. So to be presentive, to be non-reactive, to be in the flow is a very healthy condition. You are even in your mind, in your reactions are not that violent. So you use that energy so that you can do the job better. For example, I was in emergency room at New York where I was trained. I was continuing as an emergency room physician after I completed my residence there. Meanwhile, we were trying to find the practice. So they used to put me in the morning when they used to receive a lot of these cardiac arrest patients, respiratory arrest patients, and all that. So my shift started at 7 o'clock in the morning. But in the morning, I used to do my peaceful yoga practice, breathing practice, and all that, right? So when I went there, even the biggest crisis, I had the opportunity to be stable and quiet, not getting angry. Then, because I'm the leader for all those teams, everybody worked with me peacefully. Suppose I get agitated, I get really nervous, and all that, they all will have the same thing too. That's why this is very important, at least from a physician point of view. We feel like we have to be in control of ourselves and also really use the methods that will help us. We don't take any wine or cigarette or anything like that. What I am saying is we have our own inner resilience, bring it out by doing these simple practices that the ancients have discovered and were doing it. So this will help us to be more harmonious, more friendly with people, and more of focused on the work and in flow. And then what happens is the flow state really helps us to do our job better. And you feel good because you are doing your job with complete concentration. Okay. Fly, this is about sharing an experience. This is not about arguing or fighting. Okay. It's about telling our experience. If you like it, take it. Otherwise, it's up to you. I'm not forcing anybody. I'm just sharing an experience. If they can do it, they will be better. I'm seeing a lot of the other side, stressed out people, IT executives, burnt out doctors, nurses, leaving their profession and not at all happy doing their job and having a very stressful day throughout the day. So you don't have to be. That's my point of view. Now we started the room with talking about Utah government. They have put a restriction now. All the young people below 16, they have to have the parental permission to be on the social media. I think that's a good thing, and that came out because many studies came that young girls are actually committing suicide a lot more, and that's why they want to control these fast moving pictures all the time. They're addicted. Everybody addicted to the phone. So that's what they're trying to do. Nisha, any thoughts on that?
No, Dr. Rao, beautifully put. And I also believe that it is quite a journey. It is almost like if as long as my experience is that as long as I'm practicing, everything is good.
Yeah.
If there is a break in the practice, 1 or 2 days will pass by when everything is fine, and then I will start to degenerate. I don't know if there is a better word. All those impulses and emotions will keep surfacing back. So it's almost like taking a pill.
Yeah.
A prescribed medicine every day. We just have to be disciplined and very, dedicated towards it.
That reminds me, Nisha, my patients, a lot of them, I was able to cut down the medications. I myself don't have to take any medications, right? So
I don't take medication either.
Yeah, but the thing is, they are surprised. They ask me, "How come you're 68 almost? How come you don't have to take it?" I say because I work on being healthy, both in mind and also in this one, right? So that makes me, what Nisha was saying is, as long as she is doing this, she was okay. See, what it is, after we go into the life, and when you face the things that are coming in, be in the present and do it. And that's why I say every 1 hour, just do 1 minute of deep breathing to come back to your presence. But slowly it will become more. But the more you decondition yourself from your conditioning that happened, because we are not told about all this, and everybody just doing stuff without really attending to our inner nature, inner self. That is where the problem is. When I observed the ancients, what they did was they had a very simple life outward, but very rich inner life. So
Yeah, I agree with that.
yeah,
I think since the industrial revolutions,
yeah,
people are poorer inside, richer outside. You
yeah,
see, so that's why we all have these. The society have a lot of depression,
yeah,
anxiety, a lot of illness, mental health issue, anger.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
because
Ivy,
just
because of
naturally
that,
outward.
because of that incidence, as a physician, I see all this mental health illness. I examined this when I went to ancient wisdom. What the ancient wisdom I found was they are neurologically very stable. They are very alert, advanced age, they can do lots of things, right? And I was fascinated by the mind that they are displaying, how they are handling different situations. So what it taught me was they are really being simple outside, and then inner they are elevating the thought, exploring our inner nature, and going, they really explored pretty deeply, because that's also science, because that was based on their intuitive awareness. Whereas modern sciences, we base on our intellect and senses going out. Okay, that's okay. Modern science has no problem with that. But then, when it comes to psychiatry, psychology, you got to turn inward, not being really, really pulled down by what we find there, but then being compassionate and understanding, okay, I'm reacting like this. So what should we do? And then you can improve ourselves slowly there. So that inner perspective from the ancient wisdom was invaluable for me. So now I'm kind of quiet. And then so there's another thing too. They also transcend the suffering, not overcoming the suffering, transcending by understanding it. And they have touched this blissfulness and joy. That's why I said, live long, modern medicine. Live well and live joyfully. Those two are from the ancient wisdom. That's why I'm a modern practitioner, medicine practitioner. At the same time, ancient ways of understanding our thought, our emotions, our heart, our other qualities that we have as human beings. We have this intelligence to really realize that. Animals don't have that, right? We can. We have the memory, we have the imagination, but we don't know how to handle them. We have the intelligence, but we don't know how to handle it. So those are the insights that helped me. And I'm just here just to share, not to preach anything to anybody. Just tell them how I feel. Some people ask, how are you? Oh, I'm blissful. I say, that's really the truth when I say that. But then there are ways to go about it. Modern lifestyles breed all this tension, anxiety, depression. And my point is, you don't have to be like that to perform. You perform better if you are in the flow state where your work is done, but there are no invading, interfering thoughts. So, Nisha, well, that is what we will explore these 40 days as we go along. Like people will bring up this, like, you said, like a pill, I do well, and then immediately. So, what it is outside impulse coming up, right? And then our mind is conditioned such a way it reacts to it right away. This deep breathing practices really make you not to react that quickly, slowly. And then you can observe it. Not that you are dead or anything, but you can observe it. Like, for example, a child is there. A child who throws a tantrum. How you do? Calm, quiet, and then observe him like that. This adult behavior also, there is condition that reacts to, oh, you're supposed to react like that. This theory of oneness, interconnected, all are one, all those things, the more they are assimilated into our thinking, our feeling, and all that, the more we will be not reacting that quickly. Rather, compassionately looking at them, showing some kindness. Thereby, we are not exerting our emotions unnecessarily. That's what is happening to people. They may not do anything, but they will have something done by other people, like a curt word or just shake you off, something like that. Then you interact with them is a reaction. What I'm saying is respond to that without emotional reaction. That is possible when you have really integrated this lifestyle hacks that they had into the modern life. Because modern life needs it. That's my point. Modern life needs it, and people are not paying attention to why I'm coming to this state, why I'm reacting so easily. And once they understand and they incorporate a lifestyle, I don't recommend you go and take a wine or a glass of beer or something. I don't do that. What I do is I kind of observe that thing that's happening. I kind of control my thought, how it is going to go, and then out of that experience, I grow to. Make sense, Anisha? Or am I saying something fantastic?
No, it does make absolute sense, Dr. Rao.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I really love what you're doing here. I will try to join every morning.
Yeah.
Because it was such a wonderful way to start the day.
Yeah. It takes a little deeper as we go along. Hopefully, some people will understand the purpose of this and do it. It's my kind of my duty as a physician to bring forth the burnouts that I see, the stressed out people that I see, the enormous energy that is spent on this overthinking, and people are not able to handle complex problems because they don't have the energy. They need the support from the family, support everything. But what I am saying is there is a resilience inside all of us. That's like a diamond, and we are not paying attention to the diamond. Let's get to that.
I think oftentimes overthinking, it produces a lot of stress hormone. When you stress, your entire body stress, and then all the cells going to be stressed, and then it uses up a lot of energy, and it makes you tired easily, and then having sleep issue.
So one thing is, Ivy, if you want to test whether you are overthinking and have, like you said,
no, I'm never overthinking.
Not you, not you. I'm saying it, anybody who wants to test it out. The thing that you will see how many moments of joy you have in your work, in your life.
Yeah.
How many moments?
I think I'm lucky. I don't know, to have a condition in my brain because I'm born autistic.
Yeah.
So I have a good start in life, whereas I have silent mind.
Ah, good. Good.
Yeah. For 4 years.
Yeah.
I cannot be conditioned. I cannot condition. Nobody can condition me. My dad cannot condition me.
Yeah.
School cannot condition me. I'm an anarchist. I never follow rules. So it's to me, I think I have a good start. That's why I have a very quiet mind.
Very good.
I don't overthink. I have quite a silent mind. I have a way of to go silent inward.
Yeah.
Thinking about overthinking. So when I'm at work, I usually attend to things. So when I'm attending to things, the thoughts come and go. I don't entertain it. I just let them come and they will go. Yeah. And then I just attending to my work. I have a lot of energy. It gave me a flow.
Yeah, that's the point. If you think too much, you're spending a lot of energy.
Yeah, a lot of time centering in in that thought.
Yeah.
Repetitions of it, it's very tiring.
Very tiring, yes. No doubt about it. That's why people have headaches, people have brain fog, people have lack of focus, and people don't enjoy their work or their relationship. For example, if you are, for example, I'm talking to my wife, for example, we are always together, right? So something comes up on TV and I see that, oh, and I'll be going to her and asking her to come and talk, see this, and then we share what was happening in the society, what is that we can do to help and all that, right? So we don't go on worrying and thinking. I have a thing I tell her all the time is, worry is like a rocking chair. It rocks you, but it doesn't take you anywhere. So that is the thought. It takes so much energy out of us. But if you learn how to be calm in the presence of trying circumstances, not to react unnecessarily, and then do your job or do whatever you do, a lot of situation will be diffused, a lot of relationship will be saved, and you will definitely have a kind of happiness. Suppose somebody is struggling something and you go there, stand there, and give them some help in a spirit of random act of kindness. That means you are doing something without really expecting anything in return. That is so enormously joyful to you, enormously replenishing you. Not deplete your energy, but rather replenish it, which is a very good thing. Anybody else want to come up and ask us questions? We'll be happy to answer.
If anyone wants to come up, just raise their hand. I can fetch you up. We're at the mark of 4 minutes past 8, Dr. Rao.
Yeah. That's why I'm asking before close the room. Let's give them a chance to talk. That's why. Some people may want to ask some question, then they can come up. Usually I don't do a advertisement or tell everybody to come and all that. I just open it up and I begin to talk and people join. And this time is something I'm doing in a row, so many days, committed myself. But I wanted to explore all different angles without overwhelming people. They may be doing their own practices, so they may have different versions. That's all okay. But then I don't want to argumentation here. Presenting their viewpoint is okay, but then argumentation in the middle of the exercise and all that, that's not. Maybe I should do my exercise thing, everything in the beginning, like 20-30 minutes, then ask people to come up and talk about it. That way, everybody has a chance to experience the exercise that we're doing. I call this exercises in awareness, Nisha. That's what it is. Exercise in awareness. That's the name I gave it to calm the mind and be the awareness that you are. Okay. Yeah. So thank you, Ivy. Thank you, Nisha, and the people in the Nazli is here too. Yeah, Nazli was there in the beginning of the program, and she knows about it. I hope she is doing the exercise. Nazli, we are just about to close the room. And if you have any question, you can come up, then I'll talk to you, and then we'll close it. Okay.
I think everybody's shy because you're closing the room.
Maybe. Yeah, Nazli is also okay, probably. All right. And then I will close the room, and I'll see you tomorrow then. Okay. Yeah.
Take care, everyone.
Okay. Nice to see you again, Nisha, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah, Dr.
Yeah, okay.
Room for you?
No, I did end it. Okay. Okay, everybody, on the wisdom map, anybody wants to come up or